So we just laid out wraps all over the kitchen, and we just blasted the heat in the kitchen, and it just freaking cranked it up. I'm sweating absolute buckets, like.
Yeah, it wasn't as big as a deal as we thought, but it's like when they first came frozen, we're like, dude, like we pooped our pants.
I crapped myself. I almost cried, and I'm like, we need to deliver on our promise.
If we had a video camera in the kitchen, sometimes it gets a little nutty in there, man. It gets really funny. Like,
See these
oh
hands?
yeah, for sure.
Man, it was one of our first times in the kitchen, and I think this guy almost cried. Bang! There goes like $200 of chicken in the garbage. Nothing we can do about it. I think at the start it would take us 30 meals would take us 8 hours.
Yeah, so we've definitely gone better.
That's okay. Now 100 meals takes us 8 hours. Now it's 200 meals takes us 8 hours.
That's the thing with the business too, though. You know, it's like you reach that one step, and then it's just gonna keep growing and stuff. You know, so you got to figure out, you know, what can we do next to kind of keep this, you know, and maintain this growth, right?
All right, let's get this cracking.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Welcome back to Two for Rise Podcast, where we document the rise of stardom of Winnipeg's talent and personalities, a.k.a. the #1 podcast in Winnipeg. If you guys are trying to get big, if you're trying to make these gains, I think we got the guest for you guys. Introduce these boys.
Let's bring on our guests for today. They're co-owners of Vitality Meal Prep, producing the #1 source premium meals in Winnipeg. Here to talk about their journey, please welcome Riley Duma and Danny Gauer.
Let's go.
Let's go, boys.
What's going on, everybody?
So which one's Riley and which one's Duma for our Riley and Danny?
I'm Dan.
That's Dan.
I'm Riley.
That's Riley. Thank you, boys, for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you for having us.
You know, we've said in the intro, you guys have a meal prep business.
Yeah.
We like to dive in right into it. What is that?
Yeah.
And why did you start?
Yeah, so basically a bit about our company is, you know, we make like premium source meals, so it's everything comes, you know, it's really healthy, balanced, nutritious meals. People for like it comes ready to go, so they have to you don't have to cook or you know clean, so it's really convenient for customers in that sense. But yeah, so we do all of our cooking on Sundays, and basically our customers have meals for the week, and it's really convenient for them. They save time on cooking and cleaning. Dan actually came up with the idea, I mean, quite a while ago. It's been in the works for a while, but
Let's hear it.
yeah.
So I actually worked for a meal prep company before this.
Okay.
I don't want to name any names here because
Yeah, we got competition and stuff.
Yeah, it might make him look pretty bad, but it's a funny story. So I worked there for like 2 years, and since it's a meal prep company, people are tracking their macros. They have a specific calorie intake, you know, certain protein, carbohydrates, and fats that they need to hit for the day. So it's a meal prep company. You know, what you put up on your website has got to be what you're getting. So for him, you know, as soon as I started, I worked there for 2 years, and we didn't measure anything. Okay. So how can you say that there's X amount of calories in this dish and there's this much protein, but nothing's measured? So we measure everything right down to the gram. So we're super accurate about everything. And so, you know, I just didn't like, you know, his morals there. And we ended up getting kicked out of his kitchen. And then we ended up doing it out of his house. And we were doing like 500-600 meals a week there, and it was just getting crazy, and business was going downhill. So I got out of there, and I said, "Hey, Riley, let's do something ourselves here, buddy."
Yeah, like I remember he had this idea like way back, like for like honestly like a few years now, and I always was like, "Hey, man, like this idea like sounds really," because like Winnipeg, like meal prepping is like fairly new kind of concept. I feel like, I mean, there's like a couple companies now in Winnipeg that do it. But like at the time, it was like a fairly new thing, and I was like, I thought it was a great idea, right? Like healthy food, and it's convenient for people. I mean, like let's just go for it, right? And I mean, we were pretty young too. Like I think he was like 19, and I was 18. Like when we were talking about this, but like when we finally got like the ball rolling, it was like only like it's in August. But like there was a lot of work, you know, prep work to like build it and actually launch it. But I mean, yeah, like Dan said about like the macros and stuff. That's what we really take pride in, is like making sure everything is, you know, 100% accurate. Our customers know exactly what they're getting because, you know, that's why they're buying from us. You know what I mean? Like it's food that they can like rely on and really trust. And like for a lot of these people, they're making, you know, fitness goals based on our diet plans and stuff. So it's got to be 100% accurate. And, you know, that's what we really take pride in our products. So that's why it's been, you know, pretty successful so far.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Did you guys primarily start that because you had that journey already, like for example, you already worked
Mostly
at the
Dan,
prep?
yeah.
So I actually, when I was a kid, man, if you ask anyone growing up, I think they would say I was like anorexic.
Yeah.
Like I was like the skinniest guy alive. Like you could count every single rib in my body. And, you know, people would look at me and be like, wow, like I'm concerned. Like, are you okay? So then I just said, started studying nutrition and everything. And I think I put on like 60 pounds in like 6 months.
Wow.
And I was going into grade 9 and I blew up and everyone's like, all of a sudden I'm like this big fitness guy. And everyone's like, yo, how did you do this? It's the food. Eat the food, baby.
And then so you just decided to make it like a business after that?
Yeah, so then I started, that was in grade 9, and I kind of started working out all throughout high school. And then after I stopped playing hockey, because I had so many concussions, I really got into like the bodybuilding and stuff. And like grade 12, first year university is when I really started like, okay, what do I exactly need to put into my body to make me, you know, get to where I want to be? And then, you know, the whole meal prep, working at a meal prep kitchen, and then, yeah.
So are you guys doing this out of like ghost kitchens, or is it like restaurant kitchens? Like what's the business?
Yeah, so we actually have been in contact with ghost kitchens for quite some time now, but they're actually not like fully like launched yet. So basically, we have a kitchen right now that we work out of. It's a commercial kitchen, and we've been working out of there since, you know, inception of our business. But like it's a smaller kitchen, and we rent it just on Sundays. It's been working for us for like the most part, but I'd say like we're ready to upgrade kitchens like anytime now. Like we're at that kind of like threshold of like, you know, certain meals where we could kind of upgrade kitchen, get more space, more ovens, more equipment, stuff like that. But the thing with Ghost Kitchen is they actually haven't launched yet. They've kind of like kept pushing back their dates. But whenever that is ready to go, like we're gonna be in there because we're ready for a new kitchen. And we got a couple things in the works here too with like partnerships and a couple big events that we're doing this summer. So we kind of are looking for that new kitchen for sure.
Yeah, like it's a state of the art kitchen. Like it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot of supply chain issues with with COVID and maybe stuff. But it was supposed to be ready in February. Then it was May. Now it's June. So I'm just hoping it's June still. But we have another kitchen that we're meeting with another guy next week, because that's kind of like what's holding us back to like take us to the next level, because our kitchen's a little small.
That's the thing with the business too, though. You know, it's like you reach that one step and then it's just gonna keep growing and stuff. You know, so you got to figure out, you know, what can we do next to kind of keep this, you know, and maintain this growth, right? But you know, that's all part of the business. We love it, but right now we're definitely, you know, in need of a kitchen for sure. Yeah.
We were doing research on you guys yesterday, right? And we were figuring out like my one question. I was like, the logistics behind this is probably insane.
Oh my God. It's if we had a video camera in the kitchen sometimes, it gets a little nutty in there, man. It gets really funny. Like
buying food, making food, finding customers, sending them out, delivery. Like,
oh yeah.
Talk about like the behind the scenes of before.
Well, where do you want to start? Where do you want to start? There's a lot of aspects to the business that comes into play.
What's the first thing you guys think about?
On like a Sunday? Okay, well, the orders come in basically, and it's by a certain day. So for our Sunday deliveries, it's Friday at midnight. All the orders come in. So we know exactly how much food to, you know, kind of order from our suppliers. And so like, you know, we try and minimize waste in that fact. And then they come in by Friday, and then we have, Saturday to kind of go out and prepare for Sunday. And then Sunday, it's just bang on, going in the kitchen, pumping out, you know, X amount of meals.
You guys?
Yeah, me and Dan,
So you guys are like chefing it up in there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it gets like, that's what I'm saying. Like it gets a little nutty in there sometimes. You know, cooking like over 200 meals in like span of 8 hours and just doing it's nonstop like work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like we get all the orders, so we know exactly what we're getting into ahead of time, and then we just kind of we have it down to a science. Like we've been doing that for like 8 months now, so it's like all these consecutive weeks. Like we know exactly like, you know, cooking in bulk, it's like it gets, you know, pretty repetitive. So we know exactly what to do and like the best kind of ways to do everything to kind of like save time and do the things most efficiently. But yeah, we kind of get in there and we just, it's kind of like we sometimes if we had like, I don't know, we had like 200 meals, over 200 meals like 2 weeks ago. And it was like we didn't barely even talk like the whole time because we were just like so stressed out, but like going. But that's like in main part because of our kitchen too, because if we had a bigger kitchen, it's like we can do a lot more. We can cook a lot more things at the same time, right? But yeah, like that's what I'm saying. It gets a little nutty in there sometimes. Yeah.
Like the one thing, like you said, is that, you know, the oven right now, we can only fit like 4 things in there at one time.
Yeah.
The one that we're gonna move into, we can put like 16 things in there.
Sure.
So it's like, you know, you don't need to wait to put in the next thing. So it's gonna take, you know, cut the time in half, maybe even less. So when we are super busy, we can't talk, but if it's not as busy, we'll be firing off jokes and stuff all day. It's pretty funny.
You guys spend a lot of time together, right?
Yeah, the whole day. Like sometimes it's like 12 hours, and we're just like shooting the crap.
But we do it because we love it. You know, it's like if you want to deliver for the customer. So obviously, like that's the main thing. So, you know, we've never like not delivered or not delivered a good product. So we always we get in there and we go to work, and obviously like we're proud of what we do. So it's like it's a good thing, and it's very rewarding in the end. But yeah, other than that, sometimes it can get a little nutty. I know Dan mentioned like the 16 or whatever, the 4 ovens. We can put like 16 things in there. That's the stuff we kind of get excited about, the kitchen talk. But yeah, it's pretty funny because, you know, we're kind of excited to level up that kitchen. It's going to just make our lives so much easier, but for sure.
Man, like cooking it up myself right now, it's like one of the hardest things. I don't know what to put in my meals or like, you know. So was there ever a learning curve for you guys when you first started this?
Doubt.
I guess when did we start trying out recipes? Maybe like 6 months, 7 months before we launched.
Oh yeah, we did like taste tests and stuff, researching recipes, trying to like, you know, like for example, I'll give you one dish, like a garlic chicken primavera dish, which is kind of like an Alfredo-y type sauce. So like if you go to like a traditional like Italian restaurant, you order like the Alfredo sauce. It's really like creamy, really heavy, really unhealthy, obviously filled with fats. So like it's a matter of, you know, researching recipes. How can we do this recipe, you know, but make it more healthy, and then you know, do it on a bigger scale. So that was like a tough part of doing that as well too, like trying to make the dishes taste good, obviously, and then obviously be calorie friendly, you know. But yeah, and then we bunch of taste tests. We had like a whole bunch of people taste our meals, and then kind of just like, you know, narrow it down to like our best meals that we wanted to serve. And we developed a set menu. We've added a couple meals. We added a custom meal section as well too. So, you know, for people that have, you know, preset macros, you know, 100 grams of chicken, 150 grams of rice, you know, 75 grams of broccoli, usually by like, you know, their coaches that give them meal plans. We do that kind of stuff too. But yeah, that's basically how we did that. We did a lot of taste testing and stuff. Yeah.
The number one excuse I hear for not eating healthy is I don't have the time.
Yeah.
We take care of that baby.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing, because a lot of people, cooking takes a lot of time, because it's not just the cooking. It's going out to getting groceries. It's the cleanup, right? And yeah, some people just don't know how to cook too. Like I know like in me and Danny's friend group right now, we are probably the only guys that know how to cook.
No one knows how to cook in our friend group.
Yeah, it's just like pre-made like pizzas and stuff, and it's like, every day, you know.
We have one guy in our friend group. His name's Brock.
Calling him out.
Yo, he's jacked. Like this guy's freaking jacked. Like he's probably got the best genetics I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. But he doesn't eat. Yeah. And if he does eat, it's pizza, pops, and pizza. I'm like, yo, you could be the best bodybuilder of all time, brother.
Yeah. Shout out Brock.
Shout out Brock. Name dropping.
Any stories you guys have of like burning things and like going crazy?
Oh man.
Let's hear some.
So, man, it was one of our first times in the kitchen, and I think this guy almost cried. We need the product to taste a certain way. Yeah. And if it's overcooked, we can't serve that.
Yeah, 100%.
So, like, I think even 2 weeks ago, our oven is like,
it's so hit or miss.
It's so hit or miss. It changes with if we have more things in there, it takes more time to cook. Like, it's just like all over the place. So he tosses the chicken in, and we take it out, and I'm cutting in it. I take the temperature. It seems good. And I take a bite. Duma bite. Can't serve this. And this is like, we had over 200 meals. Like, we don't have time to screw up. And the guy looks at me. He starts munching on some chicken. He goes, shit. Can't serve this. Bang. There goes like $200 of chicken in the garbage. Yeah. Nothing we can do about it. Nah, and we can't get any more from our supplier. So off to Superstore he goes. And
and that's like the worst thing, if you have to go to the store during the, like, because then one guy has to leave the kitchen, right? Then you only have one guy in there doing operations, and one guy's driving, getting something. It doesn't happen that often, but like, you know, like whatever, that 2 weeks ago, like our oven is so hit and miss, because if you try and like overload the oven, and there's only so many racks, and then it just doesn't cook everything right, you know what I mean? Sure. So like if you're cooking like we have like a lot of breasts in there at the same time, and like oftentimes some of them may not cook the exact same way. Yeah. So like we are in that situation, and it's like we said, like we hold our product to a high standard, and when you're cutting up the chicken and it doesn't, you know, taste good, or it's overcooked, or it's dried out, it's like, no, like we can't serve this, bro. And then you're just back at square one again. It's like you wasted 2 hours, you know what I mean? Yeah. But that's part of the business, right? Like we're serving food, like we're not going to serve, food. We're going to serve good food. So
I actually think I screwed up the next batch after. Bucks of chicken. I screwed it up right after that.
yeah.
That takes a heavy hit on the logistics too, right?
Oh, for sure, man.
Like,
yeah.
you can't
It's
have-
unpredictable too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we can't really plan for that. It's like, do you want to buy double the amount of chicken and then just, and just in case we screw up, but it's like, do we have the chicken in the fridge or is it frozen? It's got to thaw. If it's in the freezer, like you can't do anything about that either way. So it's like, it's a lot of planning and it's a lot of, just like figuring things out on the spot, I'd say. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of like heat of the moment, thinking on your feet, fast paced environment, like stuff like trying to, cooking in bulk, you know what I mean? Like doing it the most efficient way. Yeah.
I'm surprised it's just you two though.
Yeah,
I know, like we could it's honestly like, I don't know, I'd
Buddy,
probably say it's like a
see these
4-person
hands?
business.
I've never seen Hans chop onions so fast. in his
He's an
life.
onion guy. He can definitely chop up the veggies
Like,
really good.
We should have a competition.
When
me and
you when you get quick at it, like I think at the start it would take us 30 meals would take us 8 hours.
Yeah.
Damn,
So
okay.
we've
And then it's
definitely
like-
gone better.
That's okay. Now 100 meals takes us 8 hours.
Uh-huh.
Now it's 200 meals takes us 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
300 meals? I don't know. It's
Yeah.
Get a
maybe next
competition going, two for rise versus
Yeah.
the battalion.
Let's do it.
So-
Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't know. It once you get it down to a science, cooking 50 meals versus 150 meals, it's not that much of a difference.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
gotta cook the 12 different meals anyways, just to make a little bit of extra of everything. And then the packing is so quick. It's got a couple scales out. You just slap it on the scale and it takes like 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first time you do it, it's not like you definitely learn something, and you learn something from every step when you do it.
Yeah.
So was there a moment where you're like, yo, this is not gonna work? Like this is.
Man, we have a couple scary moments. I mean, like in terms of like just like sales and stuff.
Right.
Like early on, like that's just with any business.
yeah.
Like I'll tell you one story. Like, I mean, like because we kind of just got into it and we were like, just let's just do it. Let's just see how it goes. And like we are both like all in. We're like, yeah, let's just do it. Let's see how it's received. And it started off like pretty good. And then the sales kind of leveled off probably a couple months in, and like then they started to decline a bit. And then there was like probably like a month or two where like me and Danny were so because we're like operating at a loss, right? Like I mean, most businesses within the first year don't take a profit at all.
100%, yeah.
But like there was a couple months there where like me and Danny have expenses and stuff too, right? And this is our only job, right?
Yeah.
So if we're pouring money into this business and we're not making any money and we still have expenses, it's like you're dipping into savings, this and that, and are we picking up other jobs to like kind of survive at least? You know what I mean? But there was a couple times like in October or November, I think we like me and Danny were just like had a business meeting at his house, and we were just like, man, like what are we gonna do? Like the sales are like not good at right now. Like it's kind of like declining. Like what do we do? And like we were like super stressed out, but then like kind of like calmed him down a bit. I think he was a little bit
I
more
was pooping
stressed
my
than me.
pants.
And
I
it's
was-
like
yeah.
because it's like you've put in so much into this like company, like a lot like financially, right? And it's like, hey, like do you want to just quit and like you get nothing out of it, or do we just like keep trying things? So basically we just got out like the laptops, the whiteboard, and we just like bullet pointed things that everything we wanted to try to see if these things would work. And then after, if these things didn't work, then we were like, okay, then we could figure out an exit plan. But we hammered out those bullet points, and like now we're like doing pretty good. I'd say like with a lot of like we had a lot of things in the works right now that we could like really like look forward to that could really take us, honestly, like we can't speak too much on it, but like nationwide and stuff, like long-term plans. So it's like it's really exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know what to add to that. You nailed it all.
Yeah.
Well, those things happen in business, right?
Yeah,
like,
like
they
it's
have
so
to.
like I don't know if it's like luck, but I don't want to say it's luck, because when we had that meeting at his house, we knew exactly the steps. Like we were like, "Okay, we got to do this, 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 and this. We're gonna go 110% at each of these things." Yeah, and if that's not received well, then there's not much else we can do. We're gonna have to figure out an exit plan. But yeah, like we're luckily it worked out, and it's like now it's like we're 9 months in, and we're turning a profit, and like it's like I can't complain, right? Like it's pretty good, and the sales are growing. We're constantly trying to grow and get more customers and clients, and we've actually done like one big event already back in November, and we have another event in the summer. That with can we talk about that?
I think we can talk about it.
All right,
I think
yeah.
so.
Well, let's talk about the first event that we did, how nutty
okay,
that
start.
was, and we'll
Okay.
talk about the
Yeah,
next
so
one.
buddy,
That
this is
was
nuts.
for Asper, right? You
Yeah,
guys
so it
catered-
was this NBSC event. So basically, it's a huge event, like where all like the top business schools in Canada, they met in Winnipeg, and they do like case competitions, and like there's meetings, and you know, like there's some fun to it as well too. But obviously, these people, like I think there's like over 300 students that came into Winnipeg for the weekend, and basically me and Danny got hired to do like all the meals.
Yeah, so
and it's like we're like a 4-month company at this point, and like the president of Asper, Connor, he reached out to us and he's like, hey, can you guys like do something like this? And like honestly, if I'm being like completely honest, we probably couldn't at that time. Like me and
You
Danny
should have said no.
Yeah, we should have like
No.
but like that's part of being an entrepreneur. Like we just
Gotta
like
take risks.
we're like,
Find it.
yeah, man, like
got
he
it.
told us like it was like a crazy amount. Like it was like a huge deal for us, like income wise. So we're like, we got to take this deal, man. But like honestly, we didn't have the staff, we didn't have like the kitchen space to producing this many meals, right? But we just kind of said yes, and like you could kind of take it from there. Like
Yeah, so we basically went in with like a pretty, not really that good of a plan. We literally came up with ideas on the spot as we went. It was like they wanted to do hot meals at first, and it's like we can't do that. We could figure out cold meals though. We could definitely do
Yeah.
like we're doing like 300, 400, 500 meals at once.
yeah,
And it's just the two of us. So they wanted, get an idea of our menu. It's like, okay, well,
Let's make one.
let's
developed a
let-
whole new menu for
Let's
them.
let's
Yeah.
make a menu right now, Duma. Come over and let's come up with an idea and make a menu. Tomorrow they're coming over for a taste test, so we got to make a menu tonight. Shoot them over the menu, and then like we started making all these food, and they're like, "Wow, this is really good." And we're like, "Oh, okay." we just came up with this the
Yeah.
other night, like.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're like, "Oh, all the the NBSC board people, they came over to my house and they tried all the meals and everything." They're like, "Oh yeah, this is great. We'll serve it." Okay, so it fast forward to the night before. Oh my god, man, this is actually crazy.
Bringing up nightmares.
So we ordered wraps from our supplier, and they showed up, and we weren't thinking it's winter. Everything is in the truck. It gets delivered in the truck and
Yeah.
everything. We should have scheduled the delivery the night before. We got like 400 wraps to make, 300 salads. I don't know what else. Pasta salads, everything. We had to wake up at like 4 a.m. to start this because we had to serve it at like 2:00.
Yeah, exactly.
We've
yeah.
never done this. Never done this. Okay, we're chopping up. We're getting everything ready, laying out the whole supply chain and everything, lining everything up because we can just slap it down. And then, I open up this massive box of wraps, and there's like 500-600 wraps in there. And I
love the way he's
think
telling
I had
the
a panic attack. Okay, so I walk in and I go, "Duma." He goes, "Yeah." The wraps are frozen. So we only have like 6 hours. I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I start freaking out. I'm having a panic attack. So we just laid out wraps all over the kitchen, and
Yeah.
we just blasted the heat in the kitchen, and it just freaking cranked it up. I'm sweating absolute buckets. Like all of a sudden, 20 minutes later, the wraps are all thawed out. We're okay.
Yeah,
Thank
it
God.
wasn't as big as a deal as we thought, but it's like when they first came frozen, we're like, dude, like we pooped our
Yeah.
pants.
I
Like,
crapped
what are we
myself. I
gonna
almost
do?
cried, and I'm like, we need to deliver on our promise.
And like that was
Yeah.
like a huge like business conference, right? It's like
Yeah,
you can't
100%.
we're done as a company if you don't deliver.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was just like the first thing. There was a couple things where like we ran into as well too, but we had a couple people helping us out in the kitchen as well too that day.
Yeah.
But it got really nutty, and then we made it work, and we killed it, man.
Oh, we hit it out of the park.
Because we delivered these meals on time, like, and they were like really tasty, and like everyone was trying them. I mean, there's an allergy factor we didn't even
Yeah,
mention too.
there's,
There's
like-
400 people from all across
I
Canada.
had
There's like
this-
people like that are vegetarian, people that can't have this,
Gluten-free,
that,
the
that.
celiac,
Exactly. So we
I
had to
had-
go and get all these different.
And we did our
sauces.
research too. Like I found out, like I know with celiac, you can't have gluten, right? So you can't have bread, but there's like alternatives. They make this type of bread that is, that it looks like bread, it tastes like bread, but it's not. I don't know exactly what it is, but
not
usually
bread.
it just crumbles apart. Okay.
Yeah.
And this girl, the celiac, she comes up to me because we just served it, and she goes, I saw her face because it was like the best looking gluten-free bun I've ever seen in my entire life. I went to like all these different stores and everything just for these people, and I was like, she looked at it, I watching her, and I was like, this does not look like a gluten-free bun. I can't believe we're talking about this. I'm getting excited about this too.
He's all up. That's
And she opens it up and she's staring at it. I'm like, yeah, she does not think this is gluten-free because
Yeah.
it looks that damn good. She comes up to me and she goes, I don't think this is gluten-free. I said, you bet your ass it is. I went to 6 different stores. It looks good. It tastes good. She goes, oh my God, it usually crumbles. I said, no, I got you.
Not us, not Vitality, no
Not-
crumbling.
The premium one meals.
Yeah, exactly.
It
But
was-
yeah, we talked to like all the people, and it was like really well receptive. Like, you know, they said like they got meals like the day before
Yeah.
from a
Like-
different company, and they're like, this was like such a big relief. Like,
I think-
and they even like we brought extra meals just in case, because when you're cooking on that scale, you never want to make too little. So we had like 30 extra meals, and we
Oh,
just,
maybe
you know,
more than that.
even
Because
more than that, you think, eh?
they could not. They were saying the other food because we're serving 200-300 people at once.
Yeah.
They were like, the other food we have eaten is unedible.
Yeah.
So everyone's coming up to us like, can we take extra food back to our
Yeah, so
hotel
they
room?
stored it in their hotel room. They went out and partied that night. They were eating our food like after, like
Oh, yeah, we
after they
partied
went
that
out and
night
partied.
too. Oh.
So it was like it was like a huge relief for them. But yeah, that was our first big event, and then honestly, like we killed it.
I think the second day. Okay, so the first day we did the wraps and stuff, dude, man. We were it was just us two, but like I think we wanted to seem a little bit bigger than we were. So I was like pretending that we had this girl named Janet swapping up salads and stuff, but we did it all ourselves.
Yeah.
But we went out that first night after because we got invited to their social,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they gave us free tickets. So we went, and God, these people party hard. And I'm like,
Yep.
Jesus, you know, they stayed up until 2 or 3, but I think we got home at like 2 or 3 in the morning, maybe 4. I got to be up in an hour or 2.
Yeah,
to make
Now I got to do this all over again.
Yeah.
So the second day was horrible. It was great too, but dude, I had no energy. I think I slammed about like 2,000 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah.
Which is like, honestly, it was just pre-workout.
Yeah.
It was like 10 scoops of pre-workout, which I think honestly 2,000 milligrams of caffeine was it's like the equivalent of having like probably 30 coffees.
Yeah. A little hard.
So I
Yeah.
so I was buzzing.
But what was that feeling like though? Like when all these people are like, "Yo, this."
It was
meal
like
is the
that's
best.
it was so rewarding, man. It was like because we've never done anything like that before, and we kind of just said, yeah, like let's do it, and we're gonna figure out a way to do it, not say no, and just figure out the steps to kind of just deliver. And the fact that not only that we delivered, but we exceeded expectations, and the
Yeah.
fact that they were like, hey, like this was so much better than the other companies that we had for breakfast or dinner last night. And can we have like more of your meals to like store in our fridge upstairs? Like this is awesome. We're like it was such a good feeling, man, because like it's kind of like reassuring as a company, that we're going in the right direction. We're doing the right things. We're pleasing customers. So yeah, that was a huge moment for us, and that kind of defined us as a company. Honestly, I'd say that was a huge stepping stone.
Big
for
time.
Sure.
That was huge, and that gave us the confidence. It was like,
Yeah.
if we can do that, we can do anything.
Honestly, it sounds
can do
cheesy, but
anything.
yeah.
You see it, you believe it, and you can achieve it.
Yeah.
We oh man, I can't even explain to you like how rewarding it was because we worked our off.
Yeah.
And
Like-
there's no other place to do it in a room full of 300 to 200.
Yeah,
Business-
Exactly.
dude, they're all
business
like
people.
in business
Yeah,
suits.
we're
They
students
got
as
big
well.
time speakers, keynote speakers and
Exactly.
stuff coming in. And like we're Asper students too, right?
100%.
So it's like we're like well known in Asper, like, and if we don't deliver, like our reputation,
yeah,
or
we
not
would have-
even just as
our
a company,
reputation would have
as
been
students.
over.
So like we're like if we like someone gets sick off our meals, or we like make like a wrong meal for someone who has allergies, like all these things, like you got to really make sure like you're delivering like a authentic product. And it's
Yeah.
like that was the huge thing, but it worked out. And like because of this event, we actually have like another event this summer that's
It's
way
gonna be
bigger.
It's for Tennis Canada. So
all the pro tennis players in Canada
Yeah.
are coming to Winnipeg for
Yeah.
like a qualifying tournament, and like the tennis players like need food, right?
Yeah.
And he said in the years past,
They've done Freshie.
They've done Freshie, not happy with it. They want to do Vitality this year, and we're like, damn, like we're cooking for like straight athletes now, like pro tennis players. Like this is right up our alley because our food is really healthy, and like they'd love it. So I mean, we don't have too many details, but it's like even more athletes and like crazy. It's gonna be a huge deal. So serving like pro athletes, right? So like honestly, that's gonna be super exciting.
yeah, it's gonna be wicked.
Yeah.
Like going from a place a couple months ago where you're like, yo, this might not work,
Yeah.
and now to getting this insane deals,
Yeah, man.
potentially cooking for athletes. What is that feeling like? It really validates the idea of Vitality, eh?
Man, it's just like so much. We put so much faith in each other. Like that's what
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like if we never, like obviously there's times when it's super stressful, but it's like we always just like, I know it sounds cheesy, just cliche, but it's like you just believe in each other and you just do it. And like, I don't know what else would you kind of add to that?
Honestly,
Like what do you
just
feel?
having that support system, you know,
Yeah.
like if I'm having, you know, an off day or I'm scared like of where we're gonna be, Riley's right here to calm me down. Like, and that's, you know, what you can ask for out of a partner in business. And then he's the same way. Like if he's, you know, maybe we make a mistake or something, you know, we need cooling down. We're right there for each other. You know, if I'm, you know, we got each other's backs all the time, and it's great. So, you know, if there is a bad day, well, you know, we're right. One of us is right there to pick the other person right back up.
And that's important too, right? Like we have those moments too within our team. It's like, you know, you bump heads. You guys ever bump heads? And has it ever got to a point where it's like, you know, I'm going to knock this guy out?
Okay, so like with a lot of partnerships, there's like usually the partners will like disagree on like some certain things, but I honestly can't even pick out, you know, one thing that where we've had like an issue about, like maybe like different opinions on, but we always, like me and Danny are like super open with each other. So like we're going to give our opinions, we're going to give, you know, our, you know, the best way we think of doing things, and we'll always come down to like, you know, a common ground. So that's what, like, you know, we started this when we're best friends. Like we kind of already had like that relationship. So it's like we're not scared to do something like that. But I mean, yeah, it's been pretty fluent, I'd say, for the most part, 100%.
What about in the kitchen though? There's got to be.
Like yeah,
Like how does it work in the kitchen? So
Yeah,
we
each have like our, like, I mean, we each have our own duties, I'd say, for the most part. Or like our own like our own like
fix this mic real quick.
Yeah. Just get up here. Oh, nice. I don't need to keep touching it.
No, you're good.
Okay, that's great.
I mean, like, yeah, like there's different like whatever jobs I'd say like we each do in the kitchen, like we kind of, you know, do step by step. But I mean, Danny's like really, really good in the kitchen. I have to say, like he's the man in the kitchen.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
learned a lot from him. I did like a lot of cooking beforehand too. Like my mom's Italian, so I learned a lot of like dishes and cooking with her as well. But I've also learned a lot from Danny as well too. And with that information, I've kind of been able to, you know, develop into it like where we are now. So
Yeah, it's crazy though. Like, you know, as being an entrepreneur, you can't miss a day.
Mm-hmm.
I like, you know, you can't, like, if you want to take vacations, we'll work it out between each other. But I think before one of us takes a vacation again, we're gonna have to hire another staff because we were both thinking about going to Banff, and he went, and I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it, I got it, no problem. He prepared everything the week before, everything, you know, behind the scenes, labels, stickers, everything, and dude, I think I was in the kitchen for like 16 hours. It was insane, but you know what? I loved it. I loved it. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it was a blizzard out too. It was crazy, but you know, you can't really, it's hard to take time off too. Like we haven't missed a single day. Like there's not been one day that we have not been able to deliver.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if you miss a day, it ruins your reputation.
What's your reason for this? Like what makes you want to stand in the kitchen for 16 hours and continue doing it?
You know, do I want to stand there chopping vegetables for 16 hours? No. But I think about, you know, the impact I'm having on people's lives. I'm helping them lose weight. I'm helping them, you know, make a lifestyle change. So for my brother, for example, he's just getting into the fitness now. And I'm helping, you know, someone transform their life. You know, so eating healthy is going to make them feel better. They're going to perform better. They're just going to feel overall better, and they're going to lead a happier life. So, you know, that's kind of what, you know, gets me through that. It's like, okay, well, you know, each, you know, it sounds funny, but each, you know, onion here I slice, and each piece of chicken, I'm making someone's life better.
Yeah.
That's how I think about it.
Damn.
The growth is rewarding too. Like you can see, like, you know, as you grow, you know, month by month, week by week, you want to get to a point where, you know, one day me and Dan aren't in the kitchen and we have staff in there working for us. So, and, you know, maybe we're expanding to different cities and we're partnering up with bigger companies and we're doing these events that we're doing. Like we could see the growth, right? So it's not always going to be like me and Danny in the kitchen every Sunday for the, you know, the rest of our lives. We want to get to a point, like, honestly, we're pretty close where we could have staff working for us and we could have delivery. Well, we do have delivery drivers, but I mean, you know, just expanding the business in that part and just being full-time owners where we're kind of, you know, maybe, you know, more behind the scenes, you know, doing partnerships, doing deals. growing the brand in that sense. So that's where we could kind of see the light in that sense. But like this is all the groundwork, right? So we're not even at year one yet. So we're the owners and we're fully involved with this business 110% to kind of take it where it needs to go.
I also think like as the owner, if I'm going to hire someone, I need to know what I'm asking
Exactly.
of them is
Yeah.
unrealistic. So we need to go through this entire process of cooking, everything. We need to learn everything ground up. So, for my stepdad, for example, he's in Tim Hortons. He owns a bunch of franchises. And his first 2 years working, he took like 5 days off. And he worked in Tim Hortons, as an owner, serving up, who wants to do that? Did he want to do that? Hell no. But he had to learn the entire business ground up. And he had to know, okay, if I'm asking this guy over here to do this, is it realistic? So that's what we need to do. We need to learn everything. And what we ask of people, we need to know, okay, they need to know we've done this already.
Yeah.
And what we're asking is realistic, because I don't want to ask someone to do something that I couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you understand the time dynamic as well.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
maybe, if you're really quick, you can chop up an onion in 30 seconds. But
Yeah.
then you know that if you're doing this many, that's how long it's
Exactly.
Yeah,
going
like
to take.
if we're bringing someone into the kitchen and they've never cooked before, it's going to take them months
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
even get anywhere near like the pace that we're at right now.
But you understand that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's fine. And there's also an aspect where me and Dan have we're kind of perfectionists on our meals, right? Like that's our name behind the brand, so we want to make our product as best as it can be. So if you have an employee in there, just earning a wage, an hourly wage, they may not have that kind of desire to produce the best product as the way we want it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's just that's like with any business, right? So we're gonna have to obviously watch over them and kind of make sure everything's the way we want it done. But yeah, I mean that's just with any business,
I think we're great people to work for. Like we have the first guy we hired,
Yeah.
absolute beauty. We treat him like a king. He comes in, we're like, hey buddy, first day on the job, here, take 5 or 6 meals home. And we pay him pretty nice for a delivery driver. And he's just such a great kid. He
Yeah.
comes in and he's just like,
We create a good culture. Like we're just
Yeah.
like fun guys to work for, like
course.
we if you're gonna work hard, then you're gonna get along with us, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what we've developed. But yeah,
You also got to find the right people that believe in the mission, right?
that's
Yeah.
that's the biggest
Yeah.
thing, because you're dealing with food, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like even if you do like 100% good job, or even to you go down to like an 80% level, that's a huge difference. If the
Yeah.
cooking or the chicken's overcooked by like a minute or two, that's a huge difference.
oh, massive.
And like that stuff can happen if me and Dan aren't in the kitchen.
Right.
So, customers, clients are going to notice that. So it's a matter of like really, trying to embrace a culture. Like you're part of something that's growing. You're part of something that's making a difference. And, obviously paying them, what they're deserving of their work. So yeah, like you said, like obviously they're not going to have equity in the company, but want to make them, feel like they're doing, like they're making a difference, like Danny touched on.
And since it is such a fresh startup, like, who knows how big this thing could be? Like, it could be a huge thing. And, we're going to provide someone with a lot of opportunity and room for growth. You
Exactly.
might start off in the kitchen helping us, but
Yeah.
5 years down the line, what if we're doing $10 million, $20 million a year in revenue?
Yeah.
Now you got a higher up role.
Mhm,
And that
exactly.
and that all that work you did, now it's paying off.
Yeah, it's
Now you're getting paid real nice.
Yeah.
that loyalty aspect.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah. And that's important too. One thing I also admire is, yes, you guys are in the kitchen, but you guys are also marketing this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
man.
only do you have to cook the food, you have to get the customers.
Yeah, we could definitely do a better job at marketing, but we just don't have the time.
Yeah,
Like, we're
yeah,
gonna we're
And
gonna
like hiring someone to do that stuff is expensive.
Sure.
Man.
Yeah,
like
100%.
creative designers and like people doing advertisement revenue and stuff like that. Like holy moly, like it's like those guys like demand like a good hourly wage, and it's like maybe we're not at that level. You just like we've hired like one guy and he didn't really deliver the way we wanted
yeah.
to.
We just threw out like $1,500 out the window.
Yeah. So
Like it's like taking 1,500. I thought it was gonna work. I really did. And I
Everybody
basically
does.
just
Yeah.
chucked out 1,500 or whatever it was out the window.
Sure.
See you later.
but
Best
yeah.
way to do it is like do it yourself, because
That's
you know
what I
you know
do.
what you want.
Yeah, like I do like all the Instagram marketing stuff, and like I built our website from scratch. Like I just learned everything, like because like we were getting quoted, like when we first needed our website, we were getting quoted at like $6,000 to
Yeah, yeah.
$10,000 for a website. We're like, holy moly, we want to do like an upfront investment of $10K for a
Yeah.
website. So I just I
Crazy.
basic Shopify template
Yeah.
built a website for like that. you know, add in subscription models and, you know, build the box features within the website, just, you know, learning like YouTube videos and stuff like that, you know, using like Canva and stuff to like make, you know, our Instagram posts like look professional, like, and doing like constantly doing deals every week by week. So it's like stuff like that, like just like that's part of being an entrepreneur. Like I don't consider myself like a marketing guy. I don't even like marketing. Like I took a whole bunch of marketing courses in school, and like I don't really find it interesting, but you just like I got to do it to like grow the brand, right? To grow the business.
It's part of the path.
Yeah, exactly.
So like in terms of upscaling this business, like I was doing some research yesterday, and obviously there's big names out there like 204 Rise Meal, or not 204 Rise Meal Prep, 204 Meal Prep, Prairie Meal Prep, and then there's
so
obviously
that guy owns both of them.
Yeah.
Anthony owns both 204 Meal Prep and Prairie Box.
He's gonna get
so then how do you?
Yeah, he Anthony's a great guy. He's smart too. I think he bought Prairie Box 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and he paid a decent amount of money for it, but I think the Prairie Box is more like gourmet meals, where the 204 is more like healthy and nutritious.
Yeah. Cool. So then how do you set yourself apart from those competitors out there?
You know, like we're kind of in this, obviously in the same, you know, specific, you know, industry, obviously. They've been doing it for, you know, quite a lot longer than us. I think he started 204 Meal Prep, like 7 years ago?
Yeah, a while ago.
6 years ago. Yeah. So like obviously they've had that traction here in Winnipeg for a lot longer. But I'm not going to compare companies or anything like that, especially not on, you know, publicly. But what we kind of touched on earlier, just like the fact that we take pride in our product and delivering an accurate, 100% accurate product that the customers know exactly what they're putting in their body, and it's just the trust and accuracy, I'd say.
I think
that
also
sets us apart.
Is that you buy like everything's down right to the gram, everything's measured so accurately. So they try it once, they like the taste. They are losing weight. You know, I just ate these guys. I'm trying to lose weight, and I just ate these guys' meal. I had, you know, 4 meals of theirs every day for a week. I'm down 2 pounds. I wanted to lose 2 pounds. Only thing that changed is I'm eating cleaner and I have all my meals prepped. So then they want to stay with us, and they keep on buying, and they buy, and they don't ever stop.
And then those lead to more people.
Exactly.
They talk about it.
It's building that trust. So it's like you never have a week where you're not delivering a good product. 'Cause it's like if the product tastes good and it's doing what it's supposed to do, you know, either, you know, putting on muscle or losing weight for them, then like they're going to be satisfied with the product. And then word of mouth is a huge power too. So if they're losing weight and these meals taste good and they don't have to clean or cook anymore, they're telling their friends, they're telling their family, hey, check out Vitality Meal Prep. And we get a lot of people that, you know, say, hey, I got, you know, reference from so-and-so and I'd like to try your meals, this and that. And that's where, you know, word of mouth has like a huge power for sure.
I also think like people don't understand, like, you know, placing an order with us and trusting us, like it means the world. Like we got one customer and he's been subscribed and buying every single week since day one. And like, man, like you don't know how happy that makes me.
It's
like,
rewarding, right? When you have like you're serving a client and he loves the meals, like he's been a day one promoter.
Yeah, like I love this guy. Like he's like,
I love him too.
Dude, like he probably doesn't understand how much he means to us. Like he's been there from day one.
And you're building a community as well.
Exactly.
So let's say you guys want to do something else in the future.
Yeah.
Have like events or whatever. Like
exactly.
Arm, you already have a group of people.
Yeah, and I think we've established that. Like going back to that NBSC, like that was either going to make us or break us. We could have been the laughing stock of Asper. Look at these guys. They took on this contract. They didn't do it. They never delivered the meals. Yeah. But now people look at us and they're like, yeah, these guys are business.
Yeah.
I just swore. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. Like, you're business students. You're creating a business. That's what you're there for. You're studying to be a business, and the only way you learn is by doing it.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
Like, it's props to you guys.
I think I mean, I don't want to like flex or anything like that. I'm not like arrogant in that sense, but I'm just like, I'm honestly proud of ourselves because, you know, we're full-time students and I have a girlfriend, he has a girlfriend, we each have friends, and we have other things outside of school, and we're still managing a business too. And like,
it's not easy.
So it's like, it's a time consuming, and the fact that we're excelling at it and it's a successful business and, you know, we're doing well in our studies as well, I think it really reflects well on, you know, what we're capable of. And, you know, that's maybe why we've got some of these deals. That's why we are in talks of doing like some of these partnerships that we're doing with bigger companies and bigger gyms and stuff like that, you know, because people see that, you know, we could balance academics, but also excel in the real world, you know, entrepreneurial business life as well too. So I mean, that's what I'm most proud of too. Like the fact that you could excel in school and do well in business too.
And honestly, at the end of the day, I think, anyone can do it.
Yeah,
anyone can
I
launch
truly
a business.
believe that.
It's just whatever you put in is what you're gonna get out.
Exactly.
You work your tail off, it's gonna pay off.
Yeah.
Like I don't care where you're at, like how much money you start with, it doesn't matter. You work off, and whatever you put in is what you're gonna get out.
Absolutely.
And if you believe in yourselves, if you believe in your team, you're gonna make it.
What was the starting days looking like? Like, how much did you guys have to raise capital? Did you guys put in your
We
own
had
money?
a decent amount of money.
Just our own. We didn't get any investors or anything, obviously, but just our own money. And we were operating at a loss for quite a while.
Yeah.
And just kind of, hey, it's all good. We're gonna just growing the brand, just kind of like reassuring that. And then, like I said, like in October or November, it still wasn't like popping off yet.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like really getting scared, like I touched on earlier. But I mean, like in the early stages of a business, it was kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I really feel like we, obviously no names dropped, but this potential partnership, I remember I came back and I was preaching to Riley how massive we're gonna be. Like I think, like, remember that? I was just like,
we went into this. Okay, so we're like a 7th month company at this point. Like we've been doing this for 7 months, and we went into this partnership meeting, a potential partnership meeting with this big company in Winnipeg. Well, actually, they're all over Canada.
Yeah, I think they might even be in the States.
Yeah, they sat down. We sat down with the owner and like their chief strategy officer. This guy used to work for Skip the Dishes. He's a very intelligent guy, and they came to us and basically wanted to work with me and Danny, two like 21 and 22-year-olds. Yeah. And I'm not like saying any of the details, but like, and trying to like really take this thing like across Canada and potentially in the US. Yeah. And like the way they were talking, and like they've been doing this business for like over 15 years. Like they have like hundreds of thousands of clients across like Canada. Like it's crazy. Like they're more than just like a fitness company. Like they touch on areas like in the realm of like lifestyle.
They do everything.
But it was so cool coming out of that meeting, like that they wanted to like do something with us, and that there's like a potential interest there. So I mean,
yeah, like,
props to us and props to them for
my whole vision is like, I think when we were starting it up, Mega Fit Meals or Nutrition Solutions, they're in the States, and these guys are doing like $20-30 million in revenue a year. Sure. There's nothing really like that in Canada. Like there's nothing that's Canada wide that owns the majority of the market. No one. Yeah. There might be like
there's like HelloFresh and Chef's Plate, right?
Yeah,
but like that's completely different.
You gotta make it.
Yeah.
You gotta make it.
You gotta order your ingredients and stuff, and it comes in a box, and it comes shipped across the country. I mean, like the stuff might taste good here and there, but you're still not saving time on cooking. Right. And there's still a cleanup afterwards. And the stuff's not necessarily the healthiest either. It's like shipped across the country.
It's also their name is so misleading. It's HelloFresh. I've ordered it. Sometimes, I've had rotten peppers.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the freshness in that?
So with us, everything's locally sourced. We cook it the day of, and you're getting your meals the day of. And so everything's, premium meals. And so if we were to expand into, other cities, other provinces, maybe in the States, we want a Vitality Meal Prep in Edmonton with their own kitchen there. We want a Vitality Meal Prep in Vancouver with their own kitchen there. So, or maybe a couple kitchens in places like Toronto and Vancouver, or bigger places like that. That's like where we really kind of see this thing, trending. Yeah. That's where we really want to go. And once people try the meal prep, it's like they realize how like useful it is, because it really saves you a lot of time. And it's like in price comparison with like Skip the Dishes or HelloFresh, like it's even cheaper.
Way cheaper. Like you order one meal and Skip the Dishes. Yeah. Can you get a healthy meal and Skip the Dishes? I don't know, maybe, but it's always going to be like, even like a salad with all that dressing and stuff. It's pushing 800 calories, 900 calories. It's also going to cost you $25 for one meal.
Exactly.
$30.
Plus
the tip. You have to tip. Yeah. You don't need to tip us. But like, one of our meals can be like $12-13. Yeah. You order 10 meals a week, $130.
Well, with a discount too, like
you get a little discount.
Subscriptions.
You spend more than that in a night or 2 nights of partying, and people are like, "Oh, I can't afford that. That's expensive." It's not. It's very cheap. You waste more food. You throw out more food than that.
And one thing I want to mention too, with like inflation and the rise in grocery costs this year. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to that stuff, but the grocery costs like kind of skyrocketed this past 6 months, maybe 3-4 months especially. And we haven't raised our prices because of that. We've kind of just passed those savings on to the customer. So if you're gonna get your groceries anyways, you're paying 8 to 10% more on a lot of things. Or you can just order from us, and you don't have to worry about that. And we haven't changed our prices at all since day one, relatively. Maybe a month in we changed our prices, but we haven't raised anything, and we just pass those savings on to the customer and our clients. So that's where we it's a lot of value that we feel that we're providing for clients. Yeah.
So is the ultimate goal getting out into different provinces and then getting
for sure,
agents out there?
I would like to be getting everywhere across Canada, but the one thing first is we need to focus on owning Manitoba. I want to own it. 2,000 meals a week in Manitoba.
I respect that.
Then I can go somewhere else. But I want to own it. I want people to look at this oh shit, these guys own Manitoba.
And you're doing it from
exactly.
Manitoba.
And also keeping the reputation. So from where we are right now, and just say we're doing 2,000 meals, keeping that same product, keeping it delivering the same quality,
control,
that trusted brand, not off by a single gram or macro or anything like that. Because then that's what's going to keep, let us go across Canada and maybe in the U.S. And I know it's really early and it might sound crazy right now, but with the way it's trending and the way we believe in each other, I think it's a real possibility.
There's also the bodybuilders out there that weigh everything that are in contest prep. There are guys that will order a meal prep company and they wanted this amount of carbs, I want 200 grams of rice, I want 200 grams of chicken and 100 grams of broccoli, okay? So they've ordered from other companies. You're bodybuilding, you are prepping for a show, everything's got to be 100% accurate weight, so they'll toss it on their scale just to make sure. Oh, crap, this company I just ordered from, they actually gave me 190 grams of rice, not 200. Yeah, it might seem crazy that they're upset about that 10 grams, but it matters. It matters. So then they order from us. They slap it on that scale that first time. They give us a call. Oh my God, you guys are so good. It's right on the gram. It's 200. It's not 199, 201. It's 200.
Yeah.
I'm staying with you guys. Give me all the food throughout prep. I trust you guys. Yeah. And these guys, it's hard for a lot of bodybuilders with their food to put trust in people. But we've established that trust.
And not even just with bodybuilders, people that are trying to lose weight too.
Yeah.
If they're trying to lose weight and you're overshooting the calories or the macros by over 150 calories a meal, that's really that's a huge issue too. So I'd say it matters for every client.
Other meal prep that I worked for, one of the dishes said it was 350 calories on the website. Sure. And I remember we would put the sauce on it, okay? And it was 350 calories. I remember the exact, that's how many calories was listed on the website. Yeah. And I remember I was working with my buddy Jared Bucci at the time. I don't know if you guys know him, great guy.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Yeah, and we're pouring this sauce on it. And I look to our owner and I'm like, how much? More. I'm like, is that good? No, more. more. And I looked at Jared. The owner walks out of the kitchen. I look at Jared. I'm like, dude, I look at the label. I'm like, we just put a cup of this sauce on. The sauce alone per cup was 300 calories. You're telling me the rest of this dish that has turkey in there, noodles, is only 50 calories?
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
This dish is 700 calories. Don't lie to me.
Yeah. And that's why we wanted to do differently. Just really develop product that, like we said, is going to be trusted.
Yeah, another question for you. What's the
sure.
worst experience with a customer?
The worst experience?
Yeah. I don't think we've had any bad experiences. Oh, you know what? No.
I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to
I don't think we've ever had anyone complain or anything.
Anyone be
honestly,
too hot, too cold? Well, I guess it's microwavable.
The food becomes it comes packaged so they can just microwave it. But
we have not had one complaint.
I honestly don't think we've had a single complaint with the food ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually surprising. It's food. People like their food.
Yeah. And that's not just us trying to cover anything up. That's truly.
I think the one complaint we got was we were too late on the deliveries.
Yeah. So sometimes we have extended amount of deliveries, and then sometimes we'll deliver a little late, and it may be around 9:30. People are going to bed on the Sunday night, going up for work, and they got their meals a little late. But I mean, other than that, nothing really, nothing food wise. Maybe just like with the deliveries, people being a little upset, but we always take care of that and, you know, inform them, give them a discount on the next week and stuff like that. But I'd say that's the only thing.
What's like the worst injury you guys had in the kitchen?
Injury?
Oh, you know,
Any
to
injuries?
be honest,
that's a good question.
I cut myself a couple times, burned myself, but like nothing like nothing like I had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, I'm actually like, there's been some times where like I'm chopping stuff so quick that I've like nicked my fingers and stuff, but it's like not bad. But like I'm thinking like, man, if I didn't like when you're chopping, I pull my finger away. Like I've nicked it a few. I'm like, man, what if I didn't pull my finger away? I'm chopping off my finger.
Yeah,
That's a couple calories.
Yeah. And what the heck happens then? We got to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
There's gonna be blood everywhere. We're gonna have to sanitize the whole kitchen, but I gotta get to the hospital. What happens to the meals?
Cooking, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, guess what? I'm gonna have to get that finger stitched up. I'm gonna have to go back in the kitchen. But that's never happened.
Yeah,
Thank God. I mean,
also, you know, trying to be efficient and fast, obviously, but then you also got to be, you know, safe too, obviously. But that's just a matter of experience. So, you know,
I'm actually like, I honestly at this point, like, freaking knock on wood, man.
Right here, right here, bro. I got you.
I'm shocked there hasn't been an injury
yeah,
in
like
the
a
kitchen.
significant injury. For sure.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I honestly, I'm kind of surprised, especially in the early months. But no,
Yeah.
Do you guys have like a backup plan in case something goes, like in case something like that happens? Are you just gonna like buy it from some other company?
You know,
or
I'm not too sure, but if you asked Elon Musk what he thought he was going to do if SpaceX failed, do you think he'd had a plan B? He was all in, baby.
Let's go.
This is us.
Yeah.
That's a good answer, bro.
I like that. I like that.
comparing us to Elon Musk, I like it.
Elon Musk.
Let's
if you
go.
need meal
You got to
preps.
put yourself in the company
Of course.
of who you want to be like.
Yeah,
I'm going to compare myself to Elon Musk.
Of course.
Not Elon Musk, not even close.
Shoot big, man.
Yeah.
Keep rising.
Shoot for the stars.
Exactly.
Land on the moon.
Bang.
yeah.
Was there ever a moment where like people looked at you and you're like, "Yo, this is never gonna work"?
Yeah, all the
100%,
time.
man.
All the time. My family, everybody
Because
Yeah.
doubted me.
What do you say?
they're like, "You're putting in like this much money into the business and you
Yeah.
haven't even made any profit. Why are you still doing this?"
Yeah.
Well, it's like a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about, like especially business-wise and entrepreneurial. Because like if you look at the statistics, a lot, like the overwhelming majority, I'm talking like over like 90% of businesses fail within their first year, and a lot of them don't even like turn a profit until a couple years. So it's really just believing in yourself, believing in your team, like we touched on earlier. But like the fact that we are turning a profit at month, whatever, 7 or 8, whatever we're at now, shows that we're really in the right direction. In terms of backup plans and stuff too, like, I mean, we're full-time students too.
Yeah.
Like we're taking
also
jobs this
working
summer.
internships in the summer full
And,
time.
Yeah, so we're really, you know, balancing these things as much as we can. We're not going to put all of our eggs in one basket. I'm sure we could if we really wanted to, but right now it's trending in the right direction. It's not taking up too much of our time. I mean, our Sundays and a few hours during the week are obviously taken up, but in that sense, yeah.
Like the internship, you know, working, you know, 40 hours during the week, it's going to give us more money to put back into
Exactly,
the business.
yeah.
So over the summer is where we're going to see probably a stupid amount of growth.
Yeah, like we have
we're gonna
that
have
events
a lot of money
and that
coming in.
potential partnership, and then more money that we could really just reinvest and try and grow, and like, you know, conquer Manitoba, Winnipeg. Yeah.
Big plans,
that.
boys. Big plans.
Any advice you can give to that young entrepreneur out there? That's when
Yeah,
you
you
start?
know, if you are thinking about it, just do it, man. Like if you can see it, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. Like I will visualize things before. Like I'm a big believer in whatever the work you put in is what you're going to get out. There's lots of people that say, I suck at math. Well, you know, go sit down and do 50 hours of math questions. Do 50 hours. You're going to ace that test. I don't care if you're bad at math, you're good at math, you excel with the numbers. If you put in that work, you're going to succeed. If you, I only get B's in math. Double the amount you study, double the amount of work you put in. Did you do better? If not, double that. Keep putting in more work until you get the results you want.
Yeah, like to add to that, like your question before is like if we had doubters and like people who didn't believe us in the beginning, like of course, like the overwhelming like people obviously did, but it's like if you constantly live that life where it's like, oh, you tell, like someone tells you can't do something, like, oh, like I'm scared of how it's going to be perceived, I'm scared if I'm going to fail, and you don't go out on like a limb or take a chance, take a risk, then you're never going to like if just say you really like to do podcasting, what you guys are doing right now, and I'm sure you people like you didn't know how it was going to be perceived by your friends, social media, people in Winnipeg. You didn't know if it was going to fail. People were going to listen. And you're like, oh, like that's just not started. Like, look at this production that you guys have right here.
Yeah.
Like, look where you guys are right now. Like you guys
even,
probably didn't think about this like on day one. And the fact that you guys took that, just started it, figured out as a team, how can we make this better? How can we take it to the next level? Constantly just like crushing out the steps, trying to like grow as a business, as you guys are right now too. It's like having that mentality too, and like not really giving people think about you, because I mean, look to the point now, like we're not like losers. Like, people are like, wow, like they're actually doing it and they're making money off it. Yeah. And this is the vision that these guys told me over a year ago. Yeah. And it's putting into reality now.
When I go right back, I can't stress the fact that you got to believe in yourself. That's the biggest thing. Like when you look at these big guys, I'm going to compare myself to guys like Elon Musk. He believed in himself. He was sleeping in his office or whatever he was doing. He, whatever, they put all in. Yeah. They quit their jobs. This is what they do. They went all in. Yeah. That's what you got to do. You got to, if you want, if you can do it. Like, there's no reason you can't do it.
High risk, high reward.
And and if you really believe in yourself and you see like that initial growth, and like it's so rewarding because like you put your time and effort and money into it, and you see like that customers are liking it, or that it's being perceived well on the internet, or whatever you're doing, that initial like public perception of like reassurance is so rewarding, and it just keeps pushing you to keep growing and keep striving for like whatever, like your mission, your dream, right? And like that's the same with you guys with this podcast. I'm sure like that's what you guys would probably relate to too.
100%.
Honestly, too, a lot of things that people that become so successful is they didn't do it for the money. They did it because they enjoyed doing it, and that's where the belief comes from. You enjoyed doing it, so you believe in yourself.
What do you guys think on that topic? Like, that's always an interesting topic. Like, you guys are in the same kind of space as us. Like, what do you like?
Like, I believe that like, obviously there's haters out there.
Yeah,
but if you have haters, you're doing something right.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
You cannot be successful without having haters.
Yeah.
My advice or anything would be, yes, there's going to be haters. Yes, you're going to have doubts, but believe in it for the long run and you'll be successful.
Yeah, no doubt. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm huge on the story aspect.
Yeah.
This story that I'll tell in 10 years, or the story that
I'll
tell.
Oh, man. There's been, the same with us.
Just envisioning like 10 years down the road, or like 5 years even, and saying like, telling the stories at dinners and stuff, like early on in the stages of like crazy, 4 a.m. mornings and messing up chicken and this and that and cutting or whatever, burnt, all this type of stuff. But like, that's what we like.
I kind of want to have a battle wound now. So
because
maybe I'll lose a finger in the kitchen tomorrow.
Because who wants to listen to a story that's like perfect?
Right.
Like every story should have some sort of struggle. And if you have haters or something doesn't go right, or you're brink of like quitting or bankruptcy, those are the stories that are the most interesting to watch and listen.
I love haters. Haters are the best. They are hating on me because they ain't
doing something right.
I'm doing something they're not doing.
That's the biggest thing.
Whether it's like jealousy or like, I don't know what it is or what it comes from, but like I've learned, just especially at a young age, like I don't really hate on much. If you like want to go out on a limb and it's like something that's not really traditional and you want to try it, I'm like, hey man, good for you. Like go do that. Like especially if I could see and feel like the passion behind it, then I'm like, man, like go do it. But it's kind of surprising that a lot of people aren't more like that, especially in Winnipeg. I feel like it's kind of really like
it's slowly coming on the rise.
Yeah, like maybe it is, but
like you believe that. Like trust me, we felt that.
You get a lot of doubt. You get a lot of like people that like, oh, what is like? It's so small. Like you hear things, right?
Exactly.
It's like, oh, what are these guys doing? Like, why are they doing this and that?
It's also because it's never been done before.
Exactly.
You know? Until someone does it, it's always going to be like that.
Yeah.
And like we are the generation that are going to do it.
And there's no one in Winnipeg that does like the podcasts, really. You know? Like
number one in the city,
the same vision you guys had,
you guys
in
are
terms of like getting there.
At least for growth. Like I mean, there are other people that do podcasts, obviously, but none that I've heard of. You guys own it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna just keep getting bigger. You know.
When did you guys start this?
A year and a half.
Year and a half.
We're almost close to 2 years. Yeah. One thing I will say is I am petty.
Yeah.
In
100%.
terms of like, if you doubt me a little bit, I'm motivated enough to get to where I want. But if you add that extra level of like doubt, I am 10 times more likely to prove yourself
exactly
wrong.
Like, you can't hurt my feelings. Tell me I'm stupid.
Yeah.
I'll prove you wrong, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm not the type of person to afterwards and be like, told you, man.
No, me
but
too.
I just let it sit.
Yeah.
And you know, and I know.
Yeah.
that this is
I
what
like that
happened.
mentality. For
This is
sure.
what happened. You know,
Yeah.
I've said I
Success will
played my
speak
game.
for itself.
Exactly.
Work in silence and the success will make the noise, man.
Yeah,
That's what we live off.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Keep rising, baby.
On that note, I think this is the perfect way to end off the podcast. If you haven't already, make sure to check out the boys. We'll tag everything in the description below. We're on all streaming platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that. We're live every Tuesday morning at 11:30 a.m. on the UMFM radio station, 101.5 FM. And until next time, peace.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Peace. Woo. Woo. Let's go.
Wow,
That was awesome, guys.
Dude, boys, I'm soaked, man.
You're sweaty.